What's up, guys? This is Richard again for another edition with Learning with Rich. Okay, so in this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to create structural wall types. So we'll be having two exercises. First, I'm going to teach you how to modify an existing structural wall type, and then for the next one is I'm going to teach you how to create a new structural wall type. Okay, so for Revit starters, just like you, so this is one thing that you need to know. Okay, so this is a very basic thing that you need to know in using Revit. So you've got to be able to create a new family type. Okay, so this is a very simple. So we're not going to do any modeling here. So I'm going to teach you how to create a structural wall type. Okay, so to start, okay, so let us modify an existing structural wall type. Okay, so to do that, so I select here the wall. Okay, and then as you can see by default, exterior 300 concrete is selected. So I'm going to modify this to create a new structural wall type. So let's say I want to create 350 exteriors. As you can see, I don't have here. So I'm going to modify this. I'm going to duplicate. Okay, so duplicate, and then I'm gonna call this 350. So modify, and we will be creating a new type of exterior structural wall. So 350. So let's say that is the type of the wall that I want to create based on this existing wall type. So okay. Now for me to be able to change this width to 350, I'm going to select here edit. Okay, and then I'm going to change here the thickness. Okay, so let's say 350. And let's say, for example, I want to change also the material, or I mean the settings of my wall, the surface, and then the cut pattern of my wall. So for you to do that, you just need to click this portion, and then as you can see, there's an ellipsis button. So you just need to click the ellipsis button, and then it will open up the material browser dialog box. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that the surface pattern here is selected, is set to concrete. Okay, so if it is not, so you just need to select this image, and then you can change the material, all right, or the fill pattern. So that's how you change the fill pattern for the surface and then for the cut pattern. Okay, so you just need to click this image here, and then you can also change the color if you want. Okay, so after selecting the surface pattern and then the cut pattern that you want for your wall, so I just need to select here OK, and then I select here OK. Okay, and then I select here OK. So as you can see, I just created a new structural wall type from an existing structural wall. So like what I've said, this is not a difficult exercise, but that is the basic way for you to create a family type. Okay, so for the next part is I'm going to teach you how to create a new structural wall type. Okay, so this is exterior. So let's say I want to create an interior. So what I'm going to do, so I'm going to open up again the type properties. So I select the type properties. Okay, and then I'm going to copy an existing wall. I'm going to duplicate this. So let's say I'm going to call this interior. Okay, so interior. Let's say I'm going to make this 190 mm CMU. Okay, so because I don't have interior, so I'm going to create an interior wall. This is a new structural wall type. So I'm going to select here OK. Okay, and then since I want 190, so I'm going to select edit again. and then I'm going to enter the thickness here, 190. And then for the material here, again, I'm going to select the ellipsis button. And since I call this CMU, okay, so I'm going to change the type. So from here, I'm going to type concrete CMU. Okay, what about masonry? Okay, so masonry CMU. Okay, this one. Okay, so concrete masonry units. So this is the type of the wall that I want. So I'm going to change the material to this one. So I select this. Okay, and then after that, I'm now going to select here. Okay, again, if you want to change the surface pattern, you want to change the cut pattern, you can just go ahead and change it. Okay, so after you change it, I just select here OK. Okay, and then from the Edit Assembly dialog box, I'm going to select OK again. Okay, and then since the type here that I want is interior, so I'm going to change also the function. So I'm going to change that to interior. Okay, right, so interior. Okay, and then for the coarse scale fill pattern, again, if you want to change this, you can just go ahead and click the ellipsis button here for you to be able to see other patterns here. Okay, all right, okay, and then I'll just select here OK. Okay, and then I select here modify. So if I'm going to select again the wall here, you will now notice that you now have you just added two types of wall here. Okay, so you added exterior 350 mm, and then the other one you created an interior wall. So there you have it. So hopefully you learned something from this video. If you have any comments, you have any suggestions or questions, you can just go ahead, put it on the comment section below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. You can also install QuipSpear on your iOS, Android devices, and then you can add me so we can communicate directly. You can check the description of this video for the guideline on how to use the QuipSpear. Okay. Once again, this is Richard. Hope you learned something from this, and until then, take care.